Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to answer a question that I get a lot of, and a lot of people want me to teach them how to fight. Well, if you've noticed, I would say probably all of my videos are how to avoid fighting. A lot of it is when you're prepared for fighting, then you don't really need it. And that is really the main thing that I try to get across to people, is if you prepare, then there's less likely you'll need to do it. And another thing, people don't really understand what fighting is all about. It's depending on what it is. If it is a sport, fighting sport, there's martial arts, and there's boxing, wrestling. These are all fighting, and but it's a sport. And so if you are referring to violence, I am against violence. And now I believe violence is more of a behavior pattern. And I'm not into violence because I'm not into that type of behavior. I am always nice. I control my temper. My temper, I really don't have much of a temper. And because when you lose your temper, that's when the violence comes in. And seeing that I really don't have a temper, so I really don't lose a temper, I'm thinking all the time. Once the act of violence is used, you are using, like I say, an emotional behavior. And when that happens, you're not thinking. And when you don't think, that's when you lose a fight. So you have to think when you're in a fight. And the act of fighting takes dedication. It takes time. Most people would rather watch TV. Most people would rather enjoy the fruits of their labor. Few people put out the effort of learning to fight. When it starts, you start it as a sport or an art, in which, at least that's the way I started it anyway. And then, and that was a real young age. And then as I got older, I say in the teens, and then that's when I realized what violence was all about. This was back in the racial days. And so then fighting was what I had to do, and that was just to, just to go day to day. So I've been practicing the art of fighting for a long time. So that's not, it takes a lot of time. That's why I don't even do it. I would rather teach people how to prepare, and I'll tell you in the way of violence, the one thing that really makes violence stand out is, like I say, the timing. People use violence at a certain time, and they use violence at the time when they feel they have the advantage. So keep that in mind. If you can make them think that the timing isn't right for them to use violence, they're less likely to attempt to use violence. And that's what preparing is all about. You prepare in all different ways and all different levels. And fighting really is one of them. I do suggest everyone to take some kind of martial arts classes. And what the martial arts class does do is it teaches you discipline. They don't teach you how to get mad and use violence. They teach you to keep your cools and allow the other person to get violent, and you can counter it. And it really does work. And that's where the part about using their strength against themselves. That works at an individual level, and it works when you're going against masses. Like I say, I come up against a lot of times when I'm outnumbered and outgunned. And what I have to do is convince them the timing isn't right. And if I can do that, then we can avoid the fighting, and they will avoid the violence. So, spend your time preparing, and go take some martial arts classes. It doesn't take much. It's just teaching you the simple stuff. The funny thing is, it's not like you're going to fight the same person over and over again. The martial arts stuff is a sport. But once you apply what you've learned in the martial arts, once you apply it to self-defense, it changes a lot. It really does. But I say that is one step in preparing. And you really need to do it quite often. I say I do it more than daily. I do it daily, yes, that's my morning exercises. But besides that, it goes on throughout the day. I might not use the physical art of fighting, but there is the mental and emotional part. And that I use throughout the day. And that is what most people don't really realize, how important that part of fighting is. And it just takes time to learn. And anybody can do it at any age. Like I say, I started real young. I mean, I know it was in the single digits. I'd say probably as little as 5 or 6, but I might have been maybe 7 or 8 when I started. And you're just learning the basics, and that's kind of what they teach you in martial arts classes. And I'll tell you, you're never too old to learn to defend yourself. That's why I wanted to learn self-defense when I was younger, because I thought it was a skill that I could benefit from throughout my life. And I've noticed that I've used it throughout my life, and I continue using it. And this skill has allowed me to go places, do things that a lot of people just aren't capable of doing. So take the time for yourself, and you'll be surprised. You can learn a lot, and age, like I say, will not be any deterrent. And it doesn't matter any difference in your physical abilities, because you will see that your physical abilities will improve because your attitude changes as you learn to defend yourself. All right, thank you. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.